Kicks 105.5 WKXH. Good morning, I'm JJ. It is Wednesday, March 15th at 7:49 and 29 degrees outside. I'll have the full weather forecast coming up for you in just a few minutes. Excuse me, I have a mitt in my mouth. But right now we're going to talk with Mike Barrett from the Barrett Insurance Agency. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning. Happy winter to everybody.
Happy winter.
Yeah, Mother Nature has this funny thing of saying, gotcha.
Yep.
You thought you were going to get out of this easy. Not happening. Not happening.
Usually in March.
Yeah.
Okay, so for good policies this morning, I have some questions.
I think you should go for it. Go for it.
Okay, so somebody hit me the other day, last week, and car's undrivable. And so their insurance company paid for a rental until I can get my car fixed.
Correct.
Now, insurance-wise, on that rental, who's covering the liability insurance?
That's a great question. Yeah, because as you look at, and I thank you for you actually provided me. I'm not going to say the rental company, but I'll just mention what I'm looking at here. So there's optional protection of what they call a DWCDW. What the heck is that? Right? Are you curious?
No clue.
Deductible waiver, collision deductible waiver. That's $19.99 a day. That's coverage that would help protect that vehicle if while you driving it, that vehicle gets damaged. It kind of takes your exposure of having to repair that vehicle away. Failure to have the supplemental liability protection that they offer, or the personal effects coverage that they offer, which is kind of a moot point. Where does the coverage come from? The coverage will extend from your auto insurance that you have. So your personal auto policy will cover you when you're renting a vehicle or have a rental vehicle, just the same way as it would be excess coverage if you were driving my vehicle. If I say, hey, JJ, you need to borrow my vehicle, here you go, and you get in an accident, my insurance would be first, your insurance would be second. Same applies to rental cars. Their insurance would be first, and I'm looking here, and if there's no insurance purchased, that means your insurance kicks in as excess immediately. So you would have coverage, which is great, right? And there are people in my industry that don't purchase the rental coverage when they're renting a car, or the insurance coverage when they're renting a car. I do, because I am the guy who can drive the wrong way down a one-way street accidentally one time at 2:30 in the morning and get picked up. Luck's against me, you know? So I want to make sure I'm properly protected. So if I'm going to pick up any of the coverage, it would be the collision deductible waiver, otherwise known as the deductible waiver, otherwise known as the loss deductible waiver, or as they so kindly put it on here, DWCDW, which I hope they explained to you when you got the car.
Not really.
So why do I like the collision deductible waiver? The liability, all that's there. That's going to extend from your auto policy. I'm really not all that concerned about it. But what concerns me a little bit about rental cars is there's two things I know of immediately, and probably more, but two certainly that could come up if you're driving their car, don't have their insurance purchased, and you get into an accident. One, that vehicle is going to be off the road for repair. So they could say, you have to pay us for our lost rental. So if that vehicle is off the road for 2 weeks for repair, that's 2 weeks of lost rental that you could be potentially held liable for. Two, they say, well, we were going to sell this vehicle for X once we were done using it as a rental car, but now there's a depreciated value because you got into an accident. It's going to show up on the reports. So those are the two that bother me. I haven't seen them come to fruition, but I've read enough research where it concerns me. But in the long short of it, your auto policy will work as excess. It's just there are some things that could be exposed, but you could always negotiate that out or try to. Just might be a pain. So
Right. So it's like my auto insurance policy is, well, state required liability.
Yep.
And collision, not collision, but comprehensive.
Oh, you have comprehensive and collision, I believe.
No, I think it's just comprehensive.
Dang it, I better look it up.
Yeah, you better look at it. Because I just paid my insurance policy.
Oh, man. But yeah, so, and that's, you bring up a very good point. Okay, so if you have the coverage that extends from your insurance to the vehicle that you are driving as a rental, the coverage that extends is only the coverage that you have. And I'll say the broadest coverage that you have, because if you have multiple vehicles, it's going to be the vehicle that has the coverage, the most coverage of the others. That's what's going to apply. So if you have, obviously you have liability, that's obviously going to be an excess coverage above the rental. Comprehensive, if you have it, yes. If you don't, No. So now you're exposed. Collision, same thing. If you have collision coverage, the collision coverage will work as excess above and beyond the rental to protect you. If you don't have collision, you have no coverage. So if you have a liability-only auto policy and you're renting a car, you definitely need to buy the collision deductible waiver coverage, because otherwise you are personally exposed for any damage to the vehicle that you're renting.
And that could be a pretty big,
That could be a surprise.
it could be a pretty good slice of pie.
Yeah.
Big slice of pie.
Yeah, and not to mention, last I talked to some folks, and I don't know about your situation, but these rental cars, a lot of them don't have winter tires. So
That's why I'm parking up there.
so you're driving racing slicks in this weather. So you want to be as careful as possible. But it's good to know that the insurance company of the party that struck you is doing exactly what they should be doing, and that is to say, oh, your vehicle is disabled. We will get you a temporary vehicle. Now, the limitation that would apply to you if you had rental on your own auto policy would be a specific dollar amount a day, not to exceed a total dollar amount. How it goes from the liability component, they may try to get out of it early, but they should probably keep you in a rental until your vehicle's drivable again, hopefully. So,
Yeah, so I noticed on my rental agreement it says anticipated return date is the 22nd.
right. It's going to be longer than that.
Yeah, because, the adjuster hasn't even come out yet
Yep.
to look at the car.
Yep.
And then we got to get the estimates, and then the shop that's going to fix it, they're
Yep.
going to have to order parts.
Yep.
And it's going to take a while.
Yeah, so just stay in communicado with the adjuster that you have from that insurance company, and make sure that you can keep your rental. It's a negotiating thing once it goes really long, though, so just be aware of that. We can talk about that more off the air, because that can get deep down in the weeds. We don't want to bore people this morning. They need to focus and stay awake and aware while driving on these fun roads this morning. So
Oh, yes, all fun. It was really fun yesterday,
yeah, good times.
driving in here with those slicks. I'm like 20 miles an hour in a 50. If people lined up behind me.
That's all right. Just wave like you're at a parade. Hi there. Hi.
Hey, how you doing? You want to go by me? Go right ahead.
All yours.
There's a truck coming the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, well, thanks so much, Mike, for clearing that up for me. I did
pleasure.
have some questions about that.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. So hopefully it all goes the way you want it. Keep me posted. How's that?
It already hasn't gone the way I wanted
Because
from the moment she hit me.
but remember, they're called accidents and not on purposes.
Yes.
So it is an accident. Nobody had intention of doing what they did. But it's never easy, even as seemingly smooth as it can go. You can still have a few blips along the way. It's not going to be convenient, but hopefully the company will take care of you the best they can.
Well, great. Well, thank you for coming in and sharing that information with me and us, everyone that's listening.
Sure.
If anyone has any kind of questions, any kind of insurance questions, how can they reach out to you?
Easy. Just give us a call, 748-5224. Find us on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury, online, thebarrettagency.com. Google, Facebook, and YouTube. Just look for Barrett Insurance Agency.
All right, awesome. Before we go, anything coming up with the NEK Can?
Not at the moment. We have a lot of stuff on the back burner planning, and we will have some pretty awesome news. And I'm not kidding when I tell you some pretty awesome news coming up in the next week or two.
Awesome. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming in, and we'll talk with you again next week.
Sounds good.
That was Mike Barrett from the Barrett Insurance Agency right here on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury, Vermont.